13th person voted out, the 6th member of our jury, Ashley.
It's crazy.
That's 4, that's enough. Need to bring me your torch.
Hey everybody, welcome back to our latest Survivor Heroes, Healers, Hustlers X interview today with the 6th place finisher from Survivor HHH, Ashley. And this chat's actually a really fun one. We talk about Joe, we talk about Chrissy, we talk about the 4-person alliance, we talk about that big tribal council with the last episode. So stay tuned to that. Check it out. Recap might be slightly later this week because Adam has just headed to LA. He's going to be at the finale next week. So stay tuned for that. More coverage to come, but enjoy this next interview with Ashley. All right, on the line, patching in US Survivor, Ashley Nolan. Ashley, how are you going today?
Hi, Ryan. How are you?
I'm really good. I just want to ask you straight away. I've got to come straight to that huge tribal council last night. Ashley, I think not only you, but a lot of people in Australia around the world were shocked that you were out. Like, how have you processed last night?
You know, I'm feeling, I mean, it's been so long now, I've kind of accepted it, obviously, but having rewatched it, it's just kind of, I've had so much positive feedback. I haven't really let myself sink into, like, the negatives of, oh, I should have done better, I did this and that. Like, I've just really been trying to keep positive about it and, you know, accept the parts that they show and, like, the fact that the only part that gets me is, like, I feel like at Tribal I did fight a little bit more to stay in. But what they showed was, you know, good enough, and it pretty much summed up what happened. So I'm just feeling like, well, it is what it is, you know.
Is there anything that stands out that they didn't show that you feel like was something that you hope they would have shown?
I do know that, like, I remember when Jeff said, all right, well, are you guys ready to vote the first time? I said no. I remember interrupting him and be like, I'm not ready to vote. So it's, like, amazing to me that wouldn't get shown. And that I tried to convince Devin a little bit more of, like, to vote for Mike. And that's why I was like, you guys are crazy because they don't show me being like, you know, this person's going to beat you all in the final 3. Like, what are you guys thinking? This and that. But that, you know, it all has to fit into an hour. So I guess. Yeah,
and they try and build the suspense as well. Yeah, it's very hard because it looks like that it's possibly going to be a 3-3 vote. You guys voting for Mike, Devin and Ben, and then the other guys voting for you. So are you saying that you weren't shocked necessarily that the votes came out your way and that it appeared Devin had switched over?
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, like, once Devin made up his mind, it'd be silly of him to switch over again. So once I realized he was against me, it was what it was. You know, there was no convincing Chrissy to become a fan of me all of a sudden. You know.
Can you talk a little bit about the moment that Ben pulls out his idol, because it appeared like you were the most shocked out of everyone when he did that.
Yeah, and the shock wasn't in that Ben had an idol. The shock was that I only went in there knowing one plan, and that's a rookie move because everyone knows if you don't know plan B, then you are plan B.
Yeah.
And so when I realized that everyone was just like, okay, well, we're going to stick with the plan, I knew then that it was me.
Yeah.
I knew then that it was me.
Can I ask you a little bit? You mentioned Chrissy there before. You seem to have a really strong relationship with Chrissy during the post-merge, and then it got to a point where you created this alliance of 4, and then Chrissy was on the other side. There's been a lot of negativity about Chrissy, especially from female contestants in this exit press. What was your relationship like with Chrissy?
Yeah, I mean, to be completely honest, our personal relationship was absolutely fine. I liked Chrissy a bunch. She liked me. We got along. We laughed. We had a good time together on the island. But relationship as far as the game goes, I think when we split, she aligned with Ryan, I aligned with Devin. And when we merged, Devin and Ryan had a falling out over some lost trust, which basically drew the line in the sand between us. So we just didn't work together at all. And then she felt incredibly blindsided on the JP vote. And she took that so personally and wanted so many answers from that I just didn't know what to say to her. I didn't know how to approach her from then on. So we really had no relationship as far as gameplay from that point on. But as a person, I'll be the one to say I don't get all the hate on Chrissy. I think I'm in a minority there. I think I'm just much more likely to see the good in people than the bad. So yeah, I just didn't quite get all that. I don't know if it was immaturity or just pettiness of other girls or just not really understanding her age difference. I don't know. But as a person, I really like Chrissy a lot. And so that played into nothing. I didn't think our gameplay was anything personal.
I want to ask you, a couple of weeks ago, the double episode, there was this formation of a 4-person alliance, yourself, Devin, Lauren, and Ben, and then we kind of saw that disintegrate last week. What happened? Why did you guys not stick to the 4, and why did the tide turn towards Ben?
Well, okay, it's interesting that you said that, because when we had that reward challenge with Lauren, myself, Devin, and Ben, myself and Devin and Lauren were feeling good already going into that. And when she picked Ben, I had no idea that her intentions were to bring him in with us. And I kind of remember thinking, like, what is she doing? Like, why would we bring Ben in? He's the biggest threat. I thought he had to go. But she did, and so it worked for us for a little bit, because he got to play double agent for us, you know. And it kept everyone seemingly all on the same page, you know, for a little bit. But then I think we realized he was just too good, and he just needed to go. And that he was better than we thought, because he caught on really quickly, and that kind of blew everything up.
Yeah, it was a really interesting one, because it almost felt like he had have held on for maybe one more vote with Ben. You guys probably would be, the 3 of you probably would have made it quite far. So it's an interesting one to see where it goes. I want to talk to you a little bit about your relationship with Devin. Obviously, you were with Devin for a large part of the game. Can you talk about working with Devin and what he is like and what your relationship was like out there?
Yeah, I mean, when we met up after the tribe swap, I think it was clear to us both right away that we were like-minded people. I mean, we had Alan and Joe and Desi out there, and, you know, obviously we're all from different walks of life, but there was something about Devin, like, we just both grew up on the beach with surfers, swimmers, you know, similar age, similar hobbies, just everything. It just made sense that we'd be friends. I remember even, you know, in the pregame, just kind of feeling out each other before we were even allowed to talk. It was just kind of like, we were similar. We were just on some kind of a same page. So it just definitely made sense once Alan was gone, and it was like Joe and Desi versus me and him. And that was the scariest point in the entire game, for sure. He really put himself out there for me. They didn't show that he had shown me the advantage that then turned out to be a disadvantage. He actually showed that to me before camp. We weren't allowed to open it, but he was like, listen, this is when I thought that I was going to go home. And he's like, listen, you're not going anywhere tonight. I have this advantage. If I can use it for you, I will. And he's like, that's how much I trust you. I just asked for the same trust. I was like, you got it, buddy. You know, you're about to save my butt. And so that was a really scary time for both of us, because Joe was a madman. You know, Joe was scary. The show, like, you know, he would put on these elaborate shows. And
Joe's a force of nature.
He definitely was. So me and Dev had to stick together, because Desi was going to do whatever Joe said. And it seemed like, you know, he found idols. He was just capable of anything. So that point in time really brought us together. So there was no, you know, up until obviously this last episode, there was nothing coming between he and I. I felt like we were playing that game together till the end. And unfortunately, Survivor happened, and that wasn't the case.
Joe calling you a goat, you talked about Joe then. What did that do to you and I guess the perception of others around you? Did that make you feel like, okay, now I have to play big?
You know, it did, and I hate Joe for that, because that's what he does. He prides on exactly what you think your weakness is. He called he called Ben out for swearing on the Marines. They don't show this, but in the argument that we had with Joe, with me and Chrissy, he had called Chrissy out on saying that she was a bad mother, and she swore on her children and must not love her kids. And so that's what got us so heated. And then calling me a goat, nowhere near as serious as the accusations that get of them, but he said that because he knew it would get under my skin, and that's what Joe does best.
I was going to ask you the last one. It's about JP. We didn't really see a lot of JP, but at the very start of the game, it looked like you were called out to be in a power couple with JP. We even saw a scene where he pulled down his pants to prove that he didn't have an idol, which you were there as well. Why didn't you guys work together back at the merge?
Well, I could take some blame for this. I think a little bit was fear that we might get called out again. You know, that rumor would spread, because I realized earlier on, thanks to Alan, I realized that perception is reality.
Yeah.
You know, so if people thought there was something between us, didn't matter if it was true or not. So I think we both steered clear of any chance of that happening again, just because of how scary it was the first time. because I thought that might have put me or him on the chopping block early on. And on another note, JP wasn't the type of person to seek out any relationships or alliances. He just kind of let things happen with him. So him and Chrissy and Ryan stayed close, and it didn't seem like he was going to budge from that anyways.
Yeah, Ashley, thank you so much for chatting to me today. You should be really proud of your game. It's so hard to even get on Survivor to last that long. 36 days in the end, was it? It's pretty incredible. Yeah. So congratulations and all the best. Enjoy the finale next week.
Thank you so much. I will.
Ashley, the tribe has spoken.
Thanks, Chad.
Time for you to go.
Thank you.